Welcome back to the Bear Down Podcast. NCAA Football 14, guys. College football revamped. And man, for the first time in 66 games, that's crazy, our Black Bears have a loss in the column. And it's hard to talk about, hard to think about too, man. We've won 66 straight games until we ran into the Tennessee Volunteers. It's been a great run. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. We are sitting 3-1 on the season, number 8 in the nation right now. In today's video, we'll look back at the week. We'll talk about that Tennessee game because it was a tough game for our Black Bears. We'll also look ahead to what's next on the calendar and take a look at the recruiting class. There's been some changes there as well. It's been a tough week for our Black Bears, but let's jump in. So we kicked off SEC play, taking on Ole Miss, and we handled business 63-38. It was a very one-sided game. We put up 14 points in the first, 28 in the second. The third quarter, we put up 14 and 7 in the fourth. Gabe Perez had a solid day, 14 of 22, 233 through the air, 2 touchdown passes, but it was all about the run game. Corey Green, 24 carries, 101 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brandon Bain, 5 carries, 20 yards and a touchdown. Ashton Ryan had 5 catches for 105 and a score. Albert Flowers, 3 for 61 and a touchdown. But I believe this game, the defense really stepped up major. You had Jonathan Thomas, 14 tackles, an interception that he took back to the house. You also had Corey Warner, probably with one of the best interceptions ever in Black Bear history. That pick six was incredible. You had Chris Johnson with an interception as well. Donnell Swan had a pick six. The defense came to play against Ole Miss. I think we also had a special teams touchdown. We did. The freshman Payne took one back 100 yards to the house. And the interesting part is Ole Miss outgained us by almost 200 yards. It was just that our defense was putting up points. I think we scored on 3 of our pick sixes, forced 4 turnovers. You can see they got more first downs than us. They outgained us. We outrushed them, but they outthrew us by almost 200 yards. We were 9 of 10 on third down. They were 8 of 10. We were 5 of 6 inside the red zone. They were 5 of 7. But those 4 turnovers is what killed Ole Miss. Those 4 turnovers turned into 3 touchdowns. And then you add on the kick return that went back to the house. We handled business, got the dub. Then it was on to Tennessee for our 3rd road game of the season. And honestly, I felt like we came out and we did not know what to expect with the Vols. As you can see, we scrapped back, man. We really did. We gave up 14 in the first quarter. We tied up in the second and third, but that fourth quarter, giving up that field goal and that touchdown in the first quarter, that's what was our demise. This game was interesting because we got away from what we do best. Gabe Perez, 26 of 41 for 513 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. The ground game was non-existent. We allowed Tennessee to make us one-dimensional. Corey went 7 for 31. Brandon Bain, 3 for 6 and a touchdown. That's not normal for this squad at all. It doesn't matter how bad the game is going for us. We're going to run the ball at least 25 to 30 times a game. And to get away from that, that's what hurt us. We had 3 receivers go over 100 yards. Mike Warren, 7 for 116 and 2 scores. Ashton Ryan, 6 for 150. Dominic Foreman, 5 for 103 and 2 scores. Kyle Holloway, 2 for 50. Luke Baker, 2 for 10 and a touchdown. Adam Lawson had 1 for 17. They clamped down on Albert Flowers. They said anybody else can beat us but Flowers. 1 for 46. Torian Jack had 1 for 8. And then Corey Green had 1 for 13. But I think the most frustrating part of the game had to be on the defensive side of the ball. Tennessee came in averaging 73 yards through the air through 4 games. 3 games. 3 games, they averaged 73 yards. They came out and threw for 364 yards. We knew that their run game was going to be a problem. But it was their passing game. It was dumb plays. Like, we gave up on plays. There were plays where we had 4 or 5 guys around the receiver and nobody could make a play. Chris Johnson led the way with 11 tackles. Then you had Morris, the true freshman, with 9. Smith had 6. Thomas had 6 and another interception. Wright and Swan each had 5. Trey Turner, Robinson each had 3, and Austin had 2. We had 1 sack with Trey Turner. I think we had the 1 interception with Thomas. This was just a disappointing showing by our defense. Oh no, Payne had an interception as well. Our defense did not show up at all. You could look at these totals. 265 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, 364 through the air, 3 touchdowns. And the worst part about this, man, we are normally an above average third down team. We were 2 of 8 on third down. Now, I'm not going to lay blame on the offense. I have to point my finger at the defense for this one. We understand that they're an option team, and the option is very tough to defend. I get that. But for a team that averages 73 yards through the air, and we gave up 364 yards and 3 touchdowns, just look at this. We take away 2 of those touchdowns, right, where we win this game. On the second play, I think it might have been the first play of the game, we give up over a 60-yard bomb to one of their receivers because we were too focused on the run. Yes, we lost a lot in the offseason. We lost 2 corners that could have gone down as probably the best corners to ever come through A&M. They went off to the pros to get their money. Nothing wrong with that. But it's next man up. We have a lot of 4-star and 5-star talent on this team. And to give up 364 to a team that does not throw the ball, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And Coach Thomas and the defensive coordinator have to get on the same page. Because if we have another game like this, we could forget about the national championship this year. We're still in the hunt. There's still a chance we can creep in and get a bid. But it's an uphill climb now. You're looking at 3 or 4 teams in the SEC that are undefeated right now. And we have dropped down to 8. It's an embarrassing loss. We need to erase it from our memory. We need to get back focused. The defense needs to come to play against Arkansas, or else it's going to be our second loss of the season. Now, as we talk about the polls, again, just a disappointing showing where we dropped down to 8. Here's a look at your top 25. Texas moves into the number 1 spot, followed by Michigan State. Florida State is 3. Bama is in at 4. Arizona is 5, Navy in at 6, and Missouri is 7. And you've got us at 8, Washington is 9, then you've got Georgia Tech in at 10. Michigan falls to 11, or they move up to 11, excuse me. USC is 12, Stanford 13, Mississippi State is 14, Nebraska falls 7 spots to 15, UCLA is 16, Maryland is 17, you got Southern Miss in at 18, They're the Vols in at 19. You've got Louisiana Lafayette. They're in at 20. Florida is 21. Georgia is 22. LSU is 23. And Clemson is 24. And you got Tulane 25. Back to the top, man. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of undefeated teams still left. A lot. I don't know if anybody's going to beat Texas this year. They're really good. We're hoping that somebody can handle Michigan State. Florida State, we're hoping Maryland can handle that game. And then we play Bama. We play Bama at the end of the year. So I think if we could win out for the rest of the season, beat Bama, that puts us in the SEC championship. As long as we walk out as SEC champs, I think we're okay. But we're going to need some help. So let's take a look at the SEC standings as of today. Let's take a look at the West first. Bama undefeated, 2-0 in conference play, 1-0 in the division. Then you got Mississippi State, 3-1 in conference play, 2-0 in the division. Then there's us. We're 3-1, 1-1 in conference, 1-0 in the division. Then you got LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Auburn. On the east side, you got Georgia Tech undefeated. Georgia's undefeated in conference play. Tennessee, they're 3-1 now on the season. They're 1-0 in the division. You got Kentucky at 3-1, Florida, Georgia State, and South Carolina. Now, again, I'm not too concerned about the SEC. I think if we went out and beat Bama at the end, Bama's going to be the biggest test for us. If we beat Bama at the end of the season, we're good. we should be in the SEC championship, taking on Georgia Tech or somebody like that. But we have to win, and we can't play defense like we did against the Vols. Taking a look at the season stats so far through 4 games, Gabe Perez, 1383, 11 touchdowns, and he threw his first interception of the season against Tennessee. We're leaning heavy on Gabe. Our run game, especially in this last game versus Tennessee, was just non-existent. But I think that Corey Green can be a solid back for us. We just have to get him going, and we have to get him going early. We can't wait until the second half for him to really turn up. We need him to get going in the first quarter and carry that all the way through the game. It's kind of like what I was saying before. He's got 67 carries for 399 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. Brandon Bain, 27 carries, 104, 3 touchdowns. These averages are kind of low for me. 5.9 yards a carry, 3.8. They need to be above 6, closer to 7 for both of them. Mitchell, the backup quarterback, he's got 29 yards. And then Victoria Jack has just been MIA. 3 carries for 4 yards. The wide receiving crew, I knew that they would be fine. We've got a lot of big playmakers out there, led by Mike Warren, 27 grabs for 454 and 4 scores. Asher Ryan, 22 catches, 432 and 3 scores. Dominic Foreman, 10 catches for 167 and 2 scores. But Albert Flowers, kind of a disappointing start to the season for him. 9 catches, 161 and a touchdown. I guess you could call it a sophomore slump. We need him to turn up. He's our number 1 receiver. He's our go-to guy, and only have 9 catches for 161 yards. That's not acceptable. Kyle Holloway, 4 for 73. I wish they showed drops. They do. He's got 2 drops, 2 big drops last week versus Tennessee. We're going to have to work with him, man. He's a speedster. He's going to be a dangerous weapon for this offense. And if he plans on getting playing time, he's got to step up. Green out of the backfield, 3 for 36. Luke Baker, 3 for 23 and a touchdown. Bain, 3 for 13. Lawson, 1 for 17. And Jack, 1 for 8. Looking at the offensive line, they're doing a solid job. Something about our right guards giving up the most sacks. Tyrone McMillan has 3 sacks he's given up. And Alfred Robinson at right tackle is giving up 2. This defense is disappointing. Chris Johnson leading the way, 39 tackles, 7 TFLs. He's having a solid start to the season. We figured him moving back to middle linebacker would be a great fit for him. Jonathan Thomas having a great start too, 30 tackles, 5 TFLs. I think he's got 2 interceptions. They got Brian Smith. Now our corners aren't playing well at all. Let's just keep it a buck. Brian Smith was not supposed to be cornerback number 1 this year. In fact, he was probably going to be 3rd or 4th on the depth chart if Ramirez and McGee would have came back for their junior years. But he's trying. I'll give him that. 26 tackles, no interceptions just yet. The star so far this year has been Donnell Swan. This kid is playing all over the field. 19 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 sacks. He's got 2 interceptions as well. He's that hybrid linebacker. I think Nate Johnson, but a little bit shorter, a whole lot shorter. Donnell is making plays in coverage. He's making plays in the run game. We need to keep that going with him throughout the rest of the season, because I think he's going to be an integral part of the rest of the year. Jake Payne, he's got 14 tackles. Andrew Morris had a big game versus Tennessee. He's got 11 tackles. And Kyle Wright has 10, so does Anthony Robinson. Sack department, we're doing a solid job getting after the quarterback. Wilson, Hester, Browning, and Swan each with 2 sacks. Austin and Turner with 1. I would love to see these sack totals keep going up. We've got to find a way to bring more pressure. I'm thinking about sending more blitzes on defense. I know that's what coaches have been talking about, sending an extra player. But the problem is when we send our blitzes, they never get home. So that ends up leaving somebody wide open for a big play. So we just have to figure out what's going to work best for this defense, get the right players on the field. Jonathan Thomas, 2 picks. Swan has 2. Payne, Holland, KJ, and Forwarder each with 1. And we've got 3 defensive touchdowns so far this season. Kicking game, true freshman Dustin Wood doing a great job. 4-4 so far with a long of 43. Perfect on extra points. Ryan Barnes, our punter, 259. He's averaging almost 43 yards per punt. Return game, Jake Payne had a return for a touchdown against Ole Miss. He's doing a great job there. Punt returns, not so much. Only 3 returns for 18 yards. Here's a look at the college leaders. Gabe Perez leading the country in passing yards, 1,383. Sims from UTEP, Fritz from Vandy, Romero from UAB, and Matthews from Southern Miss all behind him. On the ground, like I said before, man, this running game has just been disappointing so far. Schneider from Missouri with 710 yards. Freeman from Arkansas, who we'll see this week, 682. Enzo from Texas, 555. Bush from Louisiana, 543. Ross from Rice, he's got 533. And then Corey Green is 30th on this list with 399 yards. Receiving wise, you've got Brown from UAB with 509. Moss from Purdue with 493. Mike Warren is third on this list, 454. Watts from Vandy has 437. And then Ashton Ryan, our big tight end, with 432. Tackle wise, Chris Johnson leads the country in tackles, followed by Jonathan Thomas and Brian Smith. Then you got Walker from North Carolina and Mitchell from Washington. Sack department, you got Mullins from Marshall with 5 sacks. Andrew from Appalachian State, he's got 5. So does Walker from UNC. Allen from South Carolina has 4.5 sacks. Then Ray from UNLV has 4.5 sacks. And then Paul Wilson, our big D tackle, he's got 2 sacks, and he's 80th on this list. Interception department, Brown from Arkansas, who we'll see this week, man, 4 interceptions, leads the country. Boyd is second from Georgia Tech with 3, tied with Davis from Wisconsin, and Johnson from Washington State, and Wilson from Utah State. Jonathan Thomas is 30th on this list with 2 picks. So it's time to hit the recruiting trail. No major signings this week for our Black Bears, but one disappointing note, Ryan Calhoun from Colorado. One disappointing note, though, Ryan Calhoun from California has locked us out. It's a 2-team race right now. It's between Texas and Stanford. 5'11", 192, the number 9 corner in this class. And this dude was a great zone cover corners, 96 speed, 96 acceleration, 90 jumping. He probably wouldn't have fit in our defense anyway. We're more of a man coverage defense. So, we hate to lose out on players, but, we're able to allocate those points somewhere else now. So let's take a look at the top of the board. Edward O'Connor, the athlete from Texas, 6'2", 205. I believe this kid was a wide receiver with that 98 speed, 93 acceleration. Could play running back as well. We've got a lead over Kansas, Bama, LSU, and Texas. It continues to grow, man. We're going to put more points into him here real soon. Strong safety, Anthony Peterson from Wisconsin, the number 1 strong safety, 4-star prospect. Kind of on the shorter side, 5'10", 178. Right now, Wyoming has the lead over us by 300 points. Again, this kid is pretty solid. 88 speed, 88 acceleration, great tackling ability, solid zone, and great man press. You've got Kevin McDonald from Georgia, the number 21 athlete. It's up to us, man. I think he's going to be on campus here real soon. He's got 84 speed, 77 agility, 94 acceleration. He's a wide receiver, possession-type wide receiver, great pair of hands, spec catching traffic, route running. Or he could play tight end or power running back. We're always looking to bring in new offensive linemen. Lewis Brown from Florida. We're in a dogfight. Nebraska, Bama, Michigan, all ahead of us right now for this talented player, man. He could be a great left tackle in the future. We got to keep bringing the pressure, keep calling, texting, emailing this kid. I would love to have him on the team. Jermaine Thomas, the center from Tennessee, 6'2", 293. It's a 2-team race right now between us and Memphis. We got to keep calling, texting him as well. We don't want him to slip away and stay close to home and go to Memphis. We're actually looking to replace a center. This kid is pretty solid. He's more of a run blocker than pass blocker, though. We're trying to bolster up this linebacking group. Aaron Thomas from Texas, 6'3", 221. We're trailing Nebraska and Alabama right now. Same could be said for Brent Mills from Illinois. We're trailing behind Notre Dame. And then Bo Moore. This is one player that I thought we had a good chance of landing. But our lead, the lead is starting to grow for Nebraska, Notre Dame, Wyoming, and Oklahoma State. I think he's wanting to stay closer to home, honestly, but this is one of those players where I feel like we have to go get him. Guard Sean Hayes from right here in Arkansas. He's looking to go to U of A. He's got a big lead over us right now. Wide receiver Pat Johnson. He's looking to go to A-State, Southern Miss, or us. Running back Clayton Williams. We've got a lead for him over Tennessee, Ohio State, Bama, and Georgia. That's a good look for us, man. He'll be a solid running back. I really like his speed, his elusiveness, and his juke move. Defensive end Will Slater. Another one of those players where I felt like he could come in and make an immediate impact. Right now, Mississippi State and Southern Miss have a big lead. Then you've got Michael Barber, an athlete from Alaska, 5'11", 194. Now, this could be a replacement for the Calhoun kid. 88 speed, 90 acceleration, 85 zone, 80 man. Great route running. He could play all over the field, but I think he'd be better suited in the secondary for us. So we really can't tell how big of an impact that loss will have on our recruiting class just yet. As you can see, we have the #1 recruiting class as of this week. But, if we keep losing, we won't be able to land those big name targets like we have on our board right now. We got to keep winning. We've got to find a way to get things figured out on defense if we plan on making another national championship run. Coach isn't trying to go out as a loser. So what do you do after suffering your first loss in over 3 years? You take on your rival, who you have blown out of the water for the past few seasons. It feels good to be home after a 3-game road trip. It's going to feel good to be in front of our fans. We've got to come out and handle business against Arkansas, and we cannot look ahead because next up we head down to Atlanta to take on number 10 Georgia Tech. This Arkansas game could be a trap game for us. We've got Auburn after that. Then we're down in the Bayou to take on LSU. We got Mississippi State, Arkansas State, and then their big game. That's a big game right there. November 18th, taking on number 4 Bama. A lot is going to be on the line in that game. A chance at the SEC championship, a chance at the national championship. We can't look too far ahead, and then we got Georgia State to round out the year. But, again, got to handle business against the rival. This could be a trap game for us. Arkansas, and then Georgia Tech out on the road. I mean, it was a tough week. We did what we were supposed to do versus Ole Miss, and we just fell apart against Tennessee. Now we got to pick things up, get back to what we do best. Running the ball, open up the pass game, and the defense has to come to play this week versus Arkansas. They're 2-3 on the season, and we cannot allow them to take advantage of what we did wrong last week versus Tennessee. Again, we have dominated this game for the past few seasons. We got to keep that domination going this season. I expect our players to come out pissed off, ready to play. This could get ugly fast for the Razorbacks. We've got to come out and prove a point. Point blank, period. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell, join the Noti Squad. And make sure you guys check out those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And come to and join the Discord fam for exclusive content. And we'll talk from the den when we take on the rivals, the Razorbacks. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace.